to Babes of Quinte. I'm Katie, and that's Kay. We are your underqualified babes chatting with qualified people to learn more about the baddest and brightest people and events in the Quinte area. But first, let's catch up. It's almost the end of the month, which is crazy, and it's officially fall.
Are we recording?
Yeah.
Okay. I know. It's fall. I'm very happy.
Yeah, I'm happy.
People talk about like seasonal depression in the winter, and I was seasonally depressed all summer.
I think I'm just always seasonally depressed.
Yeah.
No season is great for me.
Yeah. So my doctor told me I had a major depressive episode.
Those are fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was not fun.
No. Are you out of it?
Yes.
That's good.
Yeah. But I think it was because it was just so freaking hot.
You're so hot. I can I'm at the point now in my mental health where I know when I'm going through a major depressive episode. It's really weird being able to know you're in it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll say to my therapist, I'm like, I'm in a major depressive episode. It's fine though. It's fine. I'll be fine. I'll find happiness eventually.
I went to go talk to them because we had adjusted my meds, and the place I go, my doctor's office is also like a Queen's educational thing. So they have the residents, and,
that's
the interns
cool.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So I saw an intern last time, and he was super hot. And,
nice.
And I'm sitting there talking. I was like, yeah, I'm just really sad.
You're so hot, but I'm so sad.
And he was like, oh, okay, let's talk about, he's super nice.
Yeah.
It was totally fine, but it's still really weird to me when I talk to doctors who are probably younger than me.
Yeah.
And they are attractive.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
my friend's she's in her residency and she's pretty hot.
Yeah. I don't know what it is.
Love her.
Maybe it's just knowing that they have so much knowledge.
They're so
And I'm
smart.
just kind of that just makes you infinitely hotter.
Yeah.
But it's not just doctors. It's anyone who has
any intelligent human. I'm
specific.
I feel like when I was younger, I didn't go by that.
Oh, hell no. I was like, okay, are you tattooed? Do you have a beard and a beer belly? That is
Daddy?
Yeah. Seriously, dad bods, sign me up.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm still about the dad bods and the tattoos and the beards. But that's not usually what I go for now because they break my heart.
I like a fluffy man.
I like a little fluff.
Like a little cushion?
Yeah. How's your week been?
Right into it. This week, it's Tuesday. It's been chill. I'm boring still. Embroidering.
You are certainly not boring.
Yeah, but that's just too much. I don't know. I'm in this constant state of anxiety, which is fun. But I do have an apartment, I guess. I don't know.
That's exciting, though.
It is exciting. It's also nerve-wracking because it's
Don't you move in? You move in
November. It's kind of weird because it's I feel like a chapter is officially closing, which also just is a lot.
It is, but it's a fresh start.
It's a fresh start, yeah.
New and wonderful and just a new.
It is weird having spare time now.
Yeah.
Because pretty much before I was farming, I was doing the marketing and sales of the farm, and then I was working here. So I was working 3 jobs.
And now you're
And now I have spare time to do things, and I'm not good at that.
It's you need to stay busy.
Yeah, and right now I know I'm disassociating, so I have been watching a lot of TV because I'm in I just need to disassociate, which probably isn't healthy, but my therapist says it's fine.
If it's what you need at the time, It's what you need at the time.
Yeah, but I'm still working out and stuff, so I guess that's good.
So you're going for your hot girl dog walks?
Hot girl dog walks. I want to see our listeners hot person dog walks. If you're
I'm into
or
it.
any hot person walk, let's see it. Let's start a club.
Sorry.
That's okay. Fuck.
Gross. Yeah, no, I'm the mental health walks.
Yeah, let's support each other on these mental health walks. Hold each other somewhat accountable, but also if you miss it, no big deal. I don't care if you miss
happens.
it. It happens. Fine. We can't be happy 100% of the time.
You know what? I need to start doing hot girl walks. Maybe I'll start doing that at lunchtime.
Yeah, I'll do them with you. If I don't have to go home and walk my dogs. Can I walk my dogs?
I'll come walk your dogs with you.
They're actually, one of them's terrifying. We're working on it. It's fine.
Baby steps.
Baby steps. Well, I did find out that my one dog, Daisy, if you do see my post, she's the black and white one. I sent her up to Loyalist. I don't know if I said this last week. I'll have to listen.
I don't think so.
When you walk in, there's a 4-foot wall.
Oh, yes.
And she clears the wall. Whenever someone comes in, she clears the wall.
Is this the 3-footed dog?
No, this is my 4-legged. She's kind of a thick lady, but
she's
and I don't know how she's doing it, and neither does the woman who runs it, Tammy. She's I don't know how she's doing it. I don't know. I was like, yeah. She's an athlete. She's a natural born athlete.
Clearly.
My 3-legged dog, psychopath. Don't trust him. People are like, he's so cute. Is he all bark and no bite? I'm like, no, he will bite you. Do not come near him. Do not touch him. Thank you. So
baby steps.
Baby steps, working on it. And what's going on in your life?
As you may know, I started crocheting as a
Scary
hobby.
demon doll.
So I go on Etsy and I'm like, oh, this is such a cute pattern. And it's like this cute little floppy bunny. So me, because I crochet sometimes when I am a little bit under the influence of
Drug.
the weed.
The weed.
I crocheted too many rows.
Yeah. Oh, that's why its head's so big.
The head is very large. It's supposed to be round. The head is
not round. It literally looks like an alien baby. She's going to post, we're going to post on Instagram what it's supposed to look like and what it actually looks like.
No, because you're going to be like, what the hell?
It's terrifying.
It's so scary. And the eyes, I put the eyes way too low.
It's something.
And my sister's...
Do you know what? I think it needs to come into the office. Like, it needs to be like our mascot.
So last night, I made it a little bit better.
Oh, okay.
So I somewhat fixed the head. I just like stitched the head part in. So it's rounder now. So it looks less alien.
Like a divot in its head now?
No, I bunched it together. So it all kind of like...
makes... Yeah, okay.
If it makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I did that and it looks less creepy.
Thank goodness.
It's still a little creepy.
It's something of my nightmares.
It's still a little creepy. My sister is just kind of like, no.
But it's like, have you seen those posts of those little girls who love like dead dolls?
Yeah.
That would be me as a child. Yeah. I feel like I
have a friend whose kids are like all about that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? Knowing her as a parent, I'm just kind of like, it completely checks out.
Yeah. Yeah, no. It's terrifying. I love it for them though.
Yeah, no, it's great.
You do you, boo. Our guest this week, somewhat of a celebrity.
Local celebrity.
Local celeb status. He's been tickling your eardrums for over 20 years. I love saying it. It's so funny.
Tickling eardrums. But yeah, no, he's pretty great.
He's pretty great. I feel like I got to know him so much more just talking to him for an hour.
Yes.
I actually didn't make up an intro for him because we thought we were interviewing him on Tuesday, but it was Monday.
We did Monday.
Our lives are a mess, okay?
Well, I mean, this was a total miscommunication because I told him Tuesday.
Yeah, but he couldn't
like,
do Tuesday.
I'm going camping or I'm driving my wife to camping. Yeah. You'll hear it in the episode.
And he's on vacay this week. But ladies and gentlemen and everyone in between, please welcome Mark Philbin from 95.5 Hits FM's morning show, Mark and Charity, and the Mark and Charity Coffee Podcast.
Are we like recording now?
This we're doing. Legit? Well, I've been recording. I always just started and then we chat.
Hey, that's fine. That's legit. And Cherry, now we get so professional.
I like your intros.
Yeah, I don't know. Charity just rolls her eyes a lot.
Yeah.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to your podcast.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
This one was actually planned where we just were like, you're doing our podcast.
But also, it's not planned because we're going to do tomorrow.
Yeah, where are you going tomorrow?
Where are we going tomorrow? That's a good question. I'm not going anywhere tomorrow. Me personally, my wife is going camping.
Oh.
So I'm going to take her up north camping with the woolies and the flannels. Then I'm going to join her for a week next week.
Look at you.
Like just nowhere. Yeah, it's great.
That's
it's probably going to snow where we are. Where we're going last week was -1 at one point in the morning.
How far north are you going? Where are you going?
Not that north, just up around Algonquin. Little place outside Maynooth.
Yeah.
It was. It got really cold. Overnight lows are going to be about 5 degrees next week. I love it. It's my favorite.
That sounds nice. The humidity and mugginess is kind of, I've had enough of it.
My Northern Ontario is just like so happy right now.
I've lived here 25 years. And one of the reasons why we did it, one of the draws was because we were so close to that. Because we used to camp up there all the time and driving through Toronto was.
Sucks. Where are you from?
We live, where am I from? That's a good question. Where are we all from? I was born in Windsor and then I moved to London for high school, college, and university. And then Kath got a job in Brantford when we were together. So we got married in Brantford. And then we moved to Stratford when I got the morning show there for 10 years and then up here. So everything was always in Southern Ontario where our family's from.
Yeah.
So moving the other side of Toronto was literally a decision Stratford to Brantford to Windsor to London. That's fine. You're
All
always
same.
Yeah, because 3 hours is 3 hours. But as soon as you go through Toronto, it's like 3 hours could be 7.
Yeah.
If you're not careful. So that was the decision. But we knew that once we got up here, then you're in Algonquin in 2.5 hours. And,
Yeah.
Then we get to live here where you can canoe on the bay. Like we have everything right here. So radio is always a 5-year stop when I was 35. So we'll do that for 5 years and then and now 25 years later.
I was going to say, how long have you been here?
Yeah. So I've signed up for 5-5-year terms. That's how I've done. I just keep re-upping the contract.
And I feel like you're Belleville royalty at this point.
I don't think so.
I
think so.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking when we were talking about having you on, I was remembering when I was younger and you would do the funniest things like fundraisers, because I remember you sleeping on the roof of the old station for Habitat for Humanity.
No, we talked about that this morning because it was for the Quinte Humane Society. So that's what we were raising money for. And I think we raised about $20,000.
Holy
You slept on the roof of the old radio station down in
Yeah, so people would go by and they would donate. And so I did that for a week. And at that time, the money was used for renovations, much needed renovations and planning. And then there was this talk that maybe that could be seed money for, could you imagine, a brand new location, which took 20 years. And today is the grand opening of the Quinte Humane Society's new location.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so that was a lot of fun to do that too. Yeah.
It's kind of like the perfect day to bring it up because you talked to them this
because it just happened. And it was like 20 years ago, I didn't know what the 20,000 would do. I was happy to do it. I know they needed it. But then you hear about, it was an awful, awful place for animals. It was, not nearly big enough or clean enough and now it's what it should be. It'll probably look opulent compared to where they were, but it's what it should be anyway.
It's gorgeous. So, I'm excited to see the inside
They posted some photos of like the cat rooms, and it's like these like floor to ceiling like windows and the doors. I'm like, that is so cute. It's like when you see a movie of like, an animal shelter, it's like that's what it looks like. It's like beautiful. Task
Force Engineering built it, and it was their idea to create large windowsills because cats love to live on windowsills. So in the cat area, they have larger windows. Like they tailored everything.
I love
specifically.
It. That's so freaking cute.
Yeah, is it like one side for the dogs and one side for the cats?
Could be. I'm not sure. I hope the dogs are at the back, because if they're at the front, I'm going to be late every morning for work.
Oh, darn.
They open at noon, and they were checking to make sure everything worked. So they went over their security cameras, and as they were just making sure everything recorded, they picked up something 2 hours earlier when a delivery truck had come by at like 9 a.m. and dropped something off, and then went around and tapped on the glass and waved at the cats. Like everybody who drops something off is going to want to stop and talk to the cats. I know. Because now they can.
I feel like it's so close.
Just over here in Wilbur's Loyalists, everybody stop by. They're going to have a
It's
bigger
too
grand
close
opening.
to our office, and we're full of animal lovers.
Yeah. Me and Emily, once they posted about having puppies, and we're like, let's take a mental health lunch and go and play with the puppies. So we did, and it was wonderful.
Yeah. So
I can't. I'll adopt another dog, and I'm not allowed.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah. My family's trying to convince me to adopt a dog. I'm the one that's saying no right now.
I think you should foster a dog.
But I have 2 cats, 2 children, and a sister. I'm good.
Now, Mark, would you say you're an animal lover?
Oh, very much.
But you have no pets.
I have no pets.
How have you pulled that off?
The short answer is my wife has allergies.
Okay.
But now, there are so many, doodles, right? There's so many other kind of animals.
You can get a hairless cat.
Well, we're not into cats.
That's fair.
Hairless dog.
Because, dogs have owners, cats have staff.
Yeah.
And I'm not
Very
interested.
much so.
I'm not interested in being a cat staff. Although I love them. I love cats. But I am at that point in my life where I know that if we get a dog, that's the full-time commitment. And I think I kind of like my freedom to be able to so I walk my neighborhood and I know every other dog. I know all the dogs in the neighborhood by name, and they know me. I know they know me because they will bark, and I will look, and I'll put my hand up and wave and keep walking, and they stop barking.
I was going to say, do you keep treats in your pockets?
No, but there is a driveway on Catalina that has this great table that says, take a treat for your dog. And they've got water there because it's so hot in the summer. And every once in a while, I'll grab one or two in my pocket if I've seen dogs out walking. And I know I'm going to pass them again.
Yeah.
Because I can tell on the circle. And then I'll give them one.
Mental note of
I
giving
met
dogs treats.
Rocco, who's a puppy, a 4-month-old puppy, for the first time last week when I was walking. Then the next day I saw him in the park.
So is
and
that
he came
highlight?
running over. There's Rocco again.
Love
so
it.
I Rocco came running over.
So you
and
don't
then,
need a dog because you have these neighbors.
Then there's Willie. That's this little dog. And he ran up the driveway to meet me. And the woman said, he's never done this before. I said, will you come right up here? And then the next day or 2 days later, I saw him again and he peed on my foot. And that is an honor.
That is an
That
honor.
is
I'm pretty sure that means they
absolute
love
honor.
you.
Yeah,
Yes.
when a
They're
dog's
claiming
It's
you.
like
Yeah.
Willie, absolutely. So Willie and Rocco are new dogs in the last that I just add to all of them. So those are my dogs. I can just go out and see all my dogs and pet them and love them.
Not have to pick up
I'm sure at some point, my wife and I will relent, but as we're getting to that time where it's like, when I hang this up and we want to go to Florida for the winter, now what?
Bring
Want to
them
go
with you.
away for a couple of weeks.
Drive
Now
them
what?
down.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll babysit.
Yeah.
I'm
I'll
dog
babysit.
sitting my parents' dogs right now.
Yeah.
So it's 4 dogs. Well, it's my 2 dogs and then their 2 dogs. And it's a lot of dogs for one person.
Do you have the cat too?
No, because my dogs will eat the cat.
Okay.
So where's the cat?
The cat is at my sister-in-law's sister's house.
Wow. Wonderful.
So, yeah. No, I understand. Now I'm like, oh, I can't just go away for the weekend because I have 4 dogs.
Right. Yeah. No, we like to just pick up and go. But yeah. Oh, I love dogs.
Is
No, for
camping
sure.
your favorite activity?
It is still to this day. Getting outdoors. I really, really like it. I'm of that generation when people say you need to be unplugged. Well, I was unplugged my whole life. This being plugged in is new. It's like somebody once said to me, are you woke? It's like, am I woke? I've been awake forever. Like, this whole new phenomenon. We've always been like this. What's this? There's nothing new. I mean, I've been around so long. There's nothing new. It's just back to the way it was. What are you talking about? This whole newness.
I am unplugged.
No, what are you talking about?
my
I've been awake
goodness.
forever. I've always known what's going on. So yeah, we are very simple, living, frugal, outdoor people, and always have been, and probably always will be. And we'll just go hang out on this little campsite near some water and have a campfire for a week, and that is just amazing. Oh, sure, I'll check football scores, but that's about
I
it.
was gonna say, I'm like, football?
Football?
Check my
I am
fantasy
not a
football.
I don't know how football
Oh,
works.
I lost my thing this week on fantasy.
Like you lost fantasy football already?
Well, no, just this week's game.
I was
Every
like,
week,
are you
yeah.
out after week
No.
1? Okay.
No, we're still in the regular season, but yeah, no, I lost this week.
Yeah,
I
I
lost
don't
last week too, so I'm on a great 0-2 streak.
My wife asked me when my daughter and I and my wife are all in pool. She's in tough this week. She needs some help with the Buffalo game tonight. I'm all looked after. I'm good this week after losing last week. But who devised fantasy football? And that's such a great question.
That is a great
when
question.
somebody had said, you know what if we could have teams where you had your own quarterback and because tens of millions of people do fantasy football.
Oh yeah, it's
Can you
huge.
explain the process to me as you two are both fantasy football people?
Quickly, what it is you go through a draft of 15 players. Most of them are 15, and you start 9. So you start 1 quarterback, 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, a tight end, a flex, the defense, and a kicker is at 8. And then they get so many points based on their performance.
Oh.
And you go through drafting because the first person overall might take Jonathan Taylor, that running back, and then you take Christian McCaffrey, and they sort of rank them, and you get, now this is my team. So if you pick a quarterback that stinks it out, like if you had Lamar Jackson or Tua yesterday, Lamar Jackson got me 48 points as my quarterback, and I lost. Because the guy I took on had both Miami wide receivers who both got in the 40s. And I have Justin Jefferson tonight, who will go off for 40, but I'm 80 points back.
Yeah.
So that's how it works. So you make one bad pick. I was on the road and didn't know that Julio Jones was inactive.
Oh boy.
Inactive spot, no points for him. So you just run through that, and then you go over 14 weeks.
But
and
is
then the top
your
ones.
team your team the whole time?
Yeah, you can
trade.
trades. Or you go on the waiver wire if a guy gets injured and pick up somebody else available.
That's so wild. I feel like you're speaking another language to me.
You
Yeah,
gotta
and then
love it.
each team has bye weeks, so there's weeks that they're off. So if you don't draft your team properly, like you'll have a week where you have like, you're missing players and you have to like pick up and trade. And it's, like there's like a strategy to it.
I take the loss.
Do you?
Yeah, I just take the loss.
Take the L.
Unless I've got somebody I can go, but I'm not going to give up a top quarterback or give up somebody that's, pretty good. I've got a really good bench right now. Problem is I got really good wide receivers on mine. And so I'm okay. I'll always be okay in bye weeks. But yeah, no, it's a lot of fun.
I've just learned so
Let me give you this. Let me tell you this. Fantasy football, you don't win it on Sunday. You win it on Wednesday.
Why?
There you go. Because that's when the waiver wire comes in.
What's a waiver wire?
That's when you pick up the guys that you want to replace, the guys who aren't performing. You want to jettison from your team. Who do you pick up?
Confusing.
So if you take a look at the end of the season, the people you picked up on the waiver wire versus the people you drafted overall, you'll find that the most part, the people that win their fantasy picked up great waiver wire players along the way. Like my daughter in week 2 years ago picked up this quarterback nobody had ever heard of called Patrick Mahomes.
Oh,
he went undrafted in his rookie year. She picked him up. Oh, no, the second year when he started. Mm-hmm. Week 2, I picked up Lamar Jackson off the waiver wire his first year when he was a rookie. And they went on to have MVP seasons. We don't always know what we're doing when we're drafting. People who can do the waiver wire and figure it out quick, they end up winning. So you don't win fantasy football on Sundays, Katie. You win it on Wednesdays. Tips from Mark.
Can this be like a feature on our podcast?
Life tips from Mark.
Life tips from Mark.
I got lots of life tips.
Give us another life tip.
That's the only one I have right now.
Okay, we'll circle back.
What about relationship stuff? Like
You've been married for a long time. You just had an anniversary.
35 years.
That's wild.
Your anniversary is on my birthday.
Yeah, it's correct.
Like that's your actual, like to the year too.
Seriously?
Yeah, like you were born on the day we got married. Yeah. That's wild. That's crazy. You would meet somebody like that. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what I know because I've only been with Kath my whole life. Like,
are you guys high school sweetheart?
Well, I went to a boys' boarding school. We met in the summer, but then she lived in Oshawa. And so I wasn't going to meet any other girls. So we wrote back and forth and we worked.
Like letters?
Like real letters that were in envelopes with stamps.
Stop it.
And I delivered the mail in the school. That was sort of part of my job at lunchtime. So I would know if I got a letter or not. And I would tuck that in my pocket and I wouldn't read it until after school. Mail would come in at lunchtime. So I would know.
I feel like this is the Notebook.
It's better still because we never had to break up. Or get together in an abandoned house.
Yeah. That didn't happen.
Not yet.
There's still time.
Right. So anyway, I would read that. And so that was great. And then I don't know, we did that for 2-3 years. And then we thought about, start talking about marriage about 84, but then I got into broadcast. So now it's 2 years of college. So then you have that really important decision. And she said, well, she was just starting her job in Brantford in January of 84. So yeah, okay. So we took 2 more years and then we got married and I graduated in the spring of 87. We got married in September.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
It's so cute.
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it's adorable.
Because it's all I know. So I don't know if that's cute.
We talked to Charity about this, your lovely co-host. Dating now and relationships now are so different.
No. I have a 32-year-old daughter who is unattached at this point, and I may say I don't blame her.
Oh,
because
it's awful.
It's horrible.
I have very hard stances on things like pornography and some predatory dating apps. Like how women today are forced to meet men is disgusting.
It's terrifying.
And the way we are raising our sons is horrible. And I don't blame her. She can't find a decent guy who's just interested in her other than she's being portrayed in social media. It's terrible.
You're so woke. Like I have goosebumps.
That's the way, like, oh my God, I can't imagine my wife ever going out with me if I acted like that or any of my friends. Like I couldn't be friends with a guy who thought that way. Like it's a whole, but
it's
and Steph's thing is that's just the way it is, Dad. And that's awful.
It's awful. And that's why I just don't date. Because I'm just like, no,
my friend,
I don't deserve this.
My best friend is like on and off the dating apps because she gets exhausted by them.
Yeah.
But she's very competitive. So when a guy tries to play her, she's like, oh, let's play this game.
Yeah.
And then she tries to beat them.
Yeah.
And she has succeeded.
And the fact that there are television shows on catfishing, I mean, it's just terrible.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Yeah, that's like my worst nightmare.
Really is.
Yeah.
No, I know. And So I would, thankfully, hopefully I'll never have to do it again, ever choose to do it again. But
no, it's not worth it.
It's not worth it.
It's nuts.
It's called I call it a meet cute when you just meet someone in the wild now.
Yeah.
I'm more shocked when people are like, we met at a party. I'm like, what?
At the grocery store. I'm like, that's perfect.
Good for
Give me
you
that. Give me
guys.
the hot grocery store people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
There's a story of this morning that singer Louis Capaldi got tossed off Tinder because nobody believed it was really him. Every time he tries to start up an account, it's like, no, you're not. He goes, no, really, like it is me.
That's
so
funny.
when you're the real person and they don't let you on, it's like, okay, but you let all these other clowns on who aren't who they say they are.
Okay.
All of this sort of
celebrities have their own type of Tinder. It's called Raya. And you have to be so people in positions within the media, or if you work at a large company and you have some seniority or you're a celebrity or whatever, it's an exclusive. You have to be approved to get into
you have to apply.
Yeah.
You would have to use that dating app if you ever used one.
No, thank you.
Swipe through the Belleville celebrities.
Yeah. No, if my wife ever woke up one day and said, oh, I am done with you, I'll get my dog and do fantasy football.
That's when you get to talk.
I'm done. I'm out.
Yeah.
I'll just sit and pine.
Honestly, it's better to be single.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I just think in this climate of expectations and I just don't understand where it all went wrong. Sure, it did somewhere.
It definitely did.
And because I'm in the media, it was probably my fault.
It was all your fault.
It's just it seems that communication has just stopped existing.
Yeah.
People just don't like to communicate.
Well, I also think somewhere along the line, and I don't have a lot of experience in this because I'm almost 60. I've seen a lot of things.
Are you almost 60?
Yeah, I'm going to be 60 on my next birthday. So I just think in society-wise, we make fun of the family and we've knocked the family. And it's just harder to keep families together and create families. And everything just gets so divided. And so it's just hard. It's just hard for people to be together.
I think it's social media, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the whole grass is greener thing. And then, it's just everything just feels more disposable. And that's
I think you're right there. Yeah.
And I don't
I used to think it was TV shows like Dr. Phil that did it because, you would watch Maury Povich and think, all right, my life doesn't suck. Because
I love Maury Povich.
So I guess I feel better. And I think the original thing is your life can be an absolute grease fire. It can be a trash can. But if you watch that, well, okay.
You're doing okay.
I have my stuff together because I'm not that guy.
I am not Jerry Springer.
I watched Maury Povich way too young.
The paternity test. I used to watch it before it was only paternity tests.
I watched it when they would show people's fears and it was great.
Yeah.
What's your biggest fear?
Heights.
Really?
Heights, too.
And you slept on top of a building.
Well, it wasn't that high. My brother-in-law and my sister winter in Florida near Bradenton, near Sarasota, and there's a Skyway Bridge at Sarasota. I will drive from Orlando down to Miami and around and up to Sarasota for 9 hours before I'll go over that bridge.
Will you go? Is the Bay Bridge too high?
No, Bay Bridge is okay, although I do go straight.
Straight.
Yeah, I'm not. Like roller coasters? No.
I'm also not a roller coaster fan.
I like them, but I'm not going to go out of my way to.
Heights are big. I'm okay. I'm okay in the dark. I'm okay in enclosed spaces. The craziest thing of all, which is the one, if you're listening, you're probably wondering, is I'm not the least bit afraid to speak in front of crowds, which is the number one fear people have.
Really?
So it's still
not really shocked you're not scared of that.
Never even knew that was a fear until after I found out.
Even as a kid, you were fine doing it?
Yep. Yeah, I never had a problem. I never had a problem doing speeches. When I was in grade 9, so I did our speech in English class. And after school, before junior basketball practice, I was introduced to the grade 12 English teacher, Mr. Nathu, who was a tremendous Shakespearean. He was great. I really loved him. So this boarding school had 180 guys. And so Mr. Nathu only taught senior English. So I already knew by the time public speaking came around, which is January, February in the year, that I wouldn't have him till grade 11 or grade 12. It was for all the big kids, I was only 14. But but I was introduced to him. So I was like, oh, and he said, I'd like you to do your speech now for Mr. Nathan. Mr. Clark was my grade 9 teacher. And so I said, like, right now? He said, yeah. So I said, okay, because I had it memorized. Like, of course I did.
Of course you did.
Of course I did. Wrote it myself, had it. So then I did the speech, and he said, oh, okay. And then they started entering me in provincial, and I didn't know that it was good, and I didn't know that it was something everybody else feared. I just thought,
what was your speech about? Do you remember?
That one. No, I don't remember grade 9 so much. I know the one I did in grade 13. I came second in Eastern Canada in grade 13. And I think I won the prepared speech, but I lost the impromptu. And my impromptu, my mother, God rest her soul, would tell you, it was because I took the wrong tact. But impromptu is you pull something out of a hat and you have 10 minutes to write a 3-minute speech. And it was on chivalry.
Oh,
and
boy.
I was probably a little too overly for it. And there were some judges that might have preferred it be a little more feminist leaning. I don't know. To listen to my mom, she said that was just the worst topic you could have had for those judges. Like, why couldn't you have had Tupperware? Like, why did you have to get something? I don't know what it was.
That would have been fun. I love
Tupperware. Why couldn't it have been fantasy football? I don't know, Mom. But I was 16, 17. I liked it. It was great. And then, I don't know. And then I ended up getting into radio. But
did you go right into radio after?
No, I didn't know what I wanted to do. I went to university and bombed out after about a year and a half.
Classic. What'd you take?
Nothing. I think I took what your brother took. I took classic Greco-Romance. Well, because I loved history, and I was fascinated with the history of civilization and why things are the way they are, and how many times we keep repeating the same mistakes and glorifying the same accomplishments that we'd already accomplished so many times. We've already been here and it worked. Let's just leave it.
Yeah.
And then we screw it up, and then somebody thinks they invented it when they bring it back. No, we've already done this. So I love doing that, but I was never going to get a job at a museum. And then one day when I was working in a variety store in the morning, I was opening it at 7:00, and I was listening to Bruce Williams on FM 96 in London. And I listened to the break. It's like, wow, it's like he's talking just to me. And I was fascinated by that. So I looked up Fanshaw College and found they had a broadcasting. So I talked to Kath, talked to my parents, because this was in September. And I had to wait the whole year to get in. And I got in the next year. So I went for like an orientation day in January.
Yeah.
Now I would have been 85 when I started. So I was 22 going on 23. And this was the first year there was no grade 13.
Oh.
So now I'm in there with 17, 18-year-olds. So I thought I was like this elderly guy.
Yeah, I was going to say, you hit it late compared to the other broadcasters we've spoken to.
But then I was having lunch in my car, and like week 3, sure, I was going to fail.
Really?
Not going to make it, because I don't care if I ever meet Duran Duran, and I don't watch MTV videos. I got in. I never got in thinking I was going to meet Aerosmith. I got in because of a public speaking background, because like Bruce Williams did, I wanted to be able to communicate, because people were afraid to do it or couldn't do it. And I thought, boy, if I can do that, and I have so many things that I want to help people with and do that are really interesting, it wasn't just to pad my own, obligate or, desires to want to get out. And so I didn't care about those things. And then I found out by November that no, I got in for the right reasons. And the ones who got in because they liked videos couldn't string a sentence together. God bless the nicest people going, but it was like, oh, okay.
Okay.
And, couldn't show prep a show and weren't able to show up to class every day. All the things that require you to, so I've been doing mornings over 30 years. I've been used to getting up at 4 a.m.
Yeah. Have you always done morning?
When I came here, I did afternoons for about a year and a half, but I'd been doing mornings since September 21st of 87. A week after my wedding, they moved me down into the morning show. So other than a year and a half, I've been doing it for 33 and a half years.
Would you ever want to go back to afternoon?
No.
You're happy with your morning?
I'm used to it. This is, I don't.
What time do you go to bed?
I don't know. The Monday Night Football games, do they play a second half? Because I've never seen one. Sometimes I'll watch the first half. But last night, because I knew, last night I was in bed at 7:30. Because I knew I was getting up at 3 because of Her Majesty's funeral. Oh. So I know when it starts I thought 4, but it was the coverage start at 4. The actual ceremony began about 4:45. So I was in here at 4. with the BBC on, because I have to talk about it. This is the one thing everybody's going to talk about. So if I show up and say, yeah, the stuff going on, you watch it. Well, then what do you need me for?
Yeah.
So I have to, and I'm not going to give you a play-by-play, but on the other hand, locally, this is what's going on. This is what we know. This is where you can go for the rest, and then provide everything else. Because, they tune into morning show radio to get answers. There's a lot of people in the media that love to ask questions, and you'll tune into their shows and all they do is ask questions. And I get that, makes you want to think, but you got to have answers. People tune to you for answers. And they just don't want to know what you know. I have to find out what it is that everybody wants to know who turns in, and then have it before I even go on the air.
All I know about the funeral is everyone was wearing hats.
Yeah. That's a big thing with them.
Yeah, I didn't realize. I was like, isn't it
the
rude
fascinators?
To wear a hat?
No, it's a thing.
It's a thing. They're all wearing hats, like bougie hats. So
we should have a bougie
maybe
hat
I need
party.
to put hats in my wardrobe. I don't know.
They'll come back. I've seen it. I've seen all the fashion trends.
What's your favorite fashion trend, Ben?
I don't even know.
Fashion with Mark. Here we go.
I was
shirts?
really, no golf shirts I'm into. That they've never gone out of style. Parachute pants, never made that. I was big into painter pants in the 80s. I love the white painter pants that have the
what
little.
What is a painter pant?
They were white and they had little notches around the thigh area where you would hang your hammer and your paintbrushes.
Oh yes, okay.
So, but they were your own thing that you could wear. Much like later on, scrubs became acceptable in public.
Mod robes.
They're actually work purpose, yet they're fashionable. And
honestly, that's to me Carhartt now. Like everyone wears Carhartt, and I'm like, what work are you doing?
Guilty. I have a Carhartt toque.
That's fair. I'll
like a beanie.
That.
I never. I'm not into the skinny clothes. That's really hard because it's so past me.
I am wearing skinny
with floods,
pants right now,
like men in suits. They're so tight.
They are very.
God on them, but I just don't know. And the
I'm
pants
just sign me up.
the shoes, if at all.
Like just above the sock line.
Mm-hmm.
Like the short pants.
You don't roll your pants.
Sign me up.
I don't roll my pants.
Maybe this is why I'm single. Because I like the men with the man buns and the short pants and the tight.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's listening out there?
But that's the thing is they've all gotten me in trouble and it's never worked out. So maybe I just need to diversify my interests.
Maybe. I don't know. See, this is my fantasy football. You two talk fashion. That's okay.
Well, this was the one advice.
My khakis and my golf shirts. I'm dead.
Maybe that's what you need to look for.
Khakis and golf shirts?
Yeah,
I am the old fashioned plain donut at Tim Hortons.
Well,
the staple.
My gay mom, not my actual mom, but my lesbian guide mom, she told me after I dated some edgy girls, she's like, you have to stop dating edgy girls. Stop dating girls in jean jackets. They're bad news. And I was like, yeah, okay, you're right. I need to get away from the girls in the arts programs and the film programs. I need to find a very practical woman. And here we are.
Now you danced with her on a stage.
She's very practical.
Was that fun? Was that a good time?
It was a good time. It was very nerve-wracking. I fully blacked out for on stage and forgot some of it.
Yeah, you do. You have to just get into that routine and block everything else out. And
you did it when it almost...
1,000 years ago.
Was that the first year or second year?
Second year. First year they had 5 couples and it was up at the Fish and Game Club. Then they wanted to expand it, so they got it to 8 couples, and it was at that time, which is now the CAA Arena, the Quinte Sports Center, on the main rink where the quote-unquote Belleville Bulls used to play, where the Senators now play now. So that's where it was. And Sue Rollins and I were paired up, and there were some other wonderful couples, including a young lady named Charity Brown.
Oh, yeah.
Who was also then she was a Quinte broadcasting.
You beat her.
So, yep. And Ingrid, of course, who was still she was here at this point. Was she? No, she would be here within a few weeks. Anyway, said to Charity told me afterwards, okay, Philbin is going to bring it. So you're really going to have to do something because he doesn't do anything halfway.
No, you don't.
It's very
And she
true.
was like, oh, okay. But she didn't know what that meant until that night. And then she said, okay, now I know what it meant. And then Ingrid and I started working together months later. And she told me that story. But then it was Charity who said, she kept saying, so what are you doing in your dance? She kept, we have this. You're going to have to do more.
What did you do in your dance?
Well, we were the first ones that went off the floor.
Oh.
We were the first ones to incorporate a flip. We were the first ones to sort of choreograph our own dance. Everybody else had a dance. We're going to do a polka. We're going to do it. And no, we choreographed our own to Christina Aguilera's Candyman.
Yeah, I have watched the video.
I have seen it.
Yeah,
as well.
so that we and so Jenna, who was our dance instructor from Inside Out Dance Academy, I think that's what it was called. I would say, "Oh, can we do this?" And I would like show her something. I would say, "I want to do this," and Sue would be like, "Oh my god!" So, but then we would say, and I said, "I'd like to do a part where we're far away and I slide over." That part, and it was like, "Why?" I said, "Because that's a wow moment. I want to do it on the drums, and I want to stamp my feet in time with the drums, and then take that whole horn when it goes. I want to slide on the horn." And I would play the parts just like, "Oh my god, all right. Then we're gonna have to. But what are you gonna do over there?" And I said, "I'm gonna throw money." Like, because that's the Candyman. So I threw like fake money, turned around, stepped, and then slid across for it. Because to me, it was like, let's use the music. So
maybe in another life you were a choreographer.
Oh, I think I was. No, I think I am in this life too.
Yeah.
You know,
You did choreograph your dance, I guess.
Dance down. So that been there, done. Check. And now I'm writing a book. That's what I'm doing now.
Are you?
Yeah.
What book are you writing?
I'm writing a novel. I'm halfway through.
Stop it.
100,000 pages to write a book, according to Linwood Barclay, who's one of my favorites. He has a second house down in the county in Toronto. He's a national bestseller and New York Times bestseller. He's
what
great.
is your book about?
I'm not going to tell you, but it is inspired by walking through the Belleville Cemetery, because I tend to do that 2-3 times a week in the summertime to get my steps. So I'm 48,000 words, and he told me a book's about 100,000, and I've already got my treatments, and I'm easily going to get to 100,000.
Well, if you need a book cover designer.
Okay, and I'm going to turn it into an 8-part Netflix series. I've already got that in my head.
I will be the actress.
And then, you might almost be too old.
Whoa.
Scary things in cemeteries always involve children.
That's
Scary
true.
things in
That's
cemeteries
very true.
always involve children.
Well, I have a 14-year-old.
Yeah. She's too scary for me.
She's scary for me too.
But I also have a screenplay in my head for a Hallmark Christmas.
Oh.
Well,
called Love is on the Air. Not Love is in the Air.
Love is on.
Love is on the Air.
Does it involve
a radio guy at Christmas time in a small town. And of course, there'll be baking single women. What do you call it when people get things wrong, like in Three's Company, where it's like somebody says something that's misconstrued, and then of course then they get together at the Totally got that one. So I'm going to write that one too. So I'm going to do my scary cemetery one, and then follow up with a Hallmark Christmas.
Beautiful.
So, people are going to eat that up.
So that when I hang it up, I'm going to finish it.
I'm really excited for this book.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm hoping to get done by Christmas.
You have an editor?
What's that?
Do you have an editor?
No, I haven't done anything yet. I want to just get it done.
Yeah. Okay.
Then when I have it done. Linwood Barclay takes 2 weeks. It's like, that's amazing. I haven't written in a week, but I'm going to write a little bit more this week. And
you're just like full of,
I don't know,
like a treasure chest.
This is why I have no time for a dog.
Because you're writing a book.
I'm writing a book now.
Can't have a dog if you're writing a book.
Fantasy football and traveling with my wife. And I love the dogs. I just can't have one.
No time yet.
Yeah.
I only have time for dogs.
Yeah.
And craft. Maybe I should write a book.
About
a long time to wait.
No, my 59. Book would be a sad handwritten book.
Can your book, you should write like a biography.
No, my life is sad.
But it could be relatable.
Yeah, that's true. That's why we have a podcast.
That's why people like us,
podcasts are the new audiobooks.
Yeah, so you have a podcast.
Yeah. Charity and I, the Mark and Charity Coffee podcast. That's kind of a 15 or 20 minute look at what we do each day on the show, just sort of a little bit longer.
I still think that name is like so clever.
So good.
I don't know. It's not really working for us. I don't think we're not top 5 on Spotify. Once we get into top 5.
Hard to get
really
there.
hard.
Is it? Okay.
Yes.
Like how many do they have? I love podcasts.
Millions of podcasts.
When I'm not listening to Louis Capaldi's new song, when I'm walking, I listen to podcasts. And
what's your go-to podcast?
I have 2 of them. Revisionist History with Malcolm Gladwell.
That's a good one.
And Freakonomics with Stephen Dubner.
Oh, I've heard about Freakonomics.
Both of those are a look at, as to steal it from Malcolm Gladwell, it's a look at things often overlooked or misjudged in history. Now let's go back. Now that it's sort of past, let's go back and take a look at it and shine a fresh light on it. And why did it happen the way it happened? And did it really mean what it meant? And some of them are absolutely fascinating. The Obscure Virus Club is a crazy one I just finished. That is absolutely crazy.
I feel like I need to add that all I listen to is murder. Like it's all about murder.
Really? Yeah. Freakonomics was great though with Stephen Dubner. You know, economics of parenting, economics of sleep, everything tied to money with economists, but it's really, really good. And they're very, very good. And I like the way Stephen Dubner would never hear this, but I like the way he ends his podcast. He says,
we may be famous one day, Mark. Manifesting. No. Manifesting.
He would say, look after yourself. And if you can, someone else. And I just love that. So g'day. That's how I learn. That's how I.
Have you ever listened to Smartless?
No. What's that?
It's Sean Hayes, Will Arnett, and Jason Bateman.
I like all three.
Yeah. So what the premise is, one of them pick a guest, but don't tell the other two who the guest is. So they just have to have a conversation.
Right,
like they can't prepare anything.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just really good. Like,
is it always another celebrity?
Yeah.
Usually, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So they did, what's the buddy's name? Well, Katy Perry is this week's episode.
Yeah. Okay.
They've done Sandra
Bullock. Who picked him? Who picked, her?
I don't know yet. I haven't listened to it yet.
Okay. So we don't know whether Sean Hayes brought in Katy Perry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Like they did Sandra Bullock and Jason Bateman brought her, I think.
I don't remember. I didn't listen to that one, but they did John Legend.
Oh, that's cool.
Like maybe 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And that was really interesting. But like, yeah, they just talked to like, you know, anyone, like movie makers or, you know, singers.
This is now a podcast about podcasts.
It's not, it's a podcast about my favorite podcasts.
Yeah.
I really think that we do have a responsibility. I get it. They're just podcasts of people sitting around making noises, talking about what we think about. Yeah. There are some awful ones out there.
Oh,
don't get me started.
Nope.
I think there should still be a responsibility, but we don't want to. So,
even the companies that are hosting some of these podcasts now, they're just like, oh yeah, we're going to host this podcast, but we're never going to put it in your recommended podcast lists.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, if you have to not put a podcast like in the recommendations, do you think maybe you should not be hosting this podcast?
Yeah.
What do I know though?
Yeah.
Spotify.
I'm all for freedom and everything, but there was never a time that you could get any information out there you wanted, whether it's true or not,
it's scary
to the vast public in an instant.
Once again, why social media is the worst thing that's ever happened to us.
Yeah. And we work in social media,
which is the worst part.
Yeah. It's draining.
There's still a lot of good. We have to have the will to make it want to work as consumers.
Well, that's why that's
where we fall down.
That's why I was just like, good news in Quinte. Like we need something that's like not, you know, a constant downer or conspiracy theories or like drama, like any of that stuff. I don't want to hear about it anymore.
Yeah. Nope. Very true. So.
Hey, Katie, have you ever thought about advertising on a podcast?
Actually, I think about it all the time.
So do I. I don't actually have anything to advertise.
No, neither do I. But I mean, I think about it because I want people to advertise on our podcast.
I would love for people to advertise on our podcast.
If you want to do that, you can shoot us a DM.
DM us, slide in.
And we'll send you all the info you need. Yeah.
Kay has that info. Man, we are legit. So you want to advertise. So if you are a local up and coming business and you don't have a huge advertising budget, but you have a little bit, hit us up. We're here to help.
We want to help you. Push that stuff on socials, and we have a whole plan. And we want to help champion some other local businesses.
Okay, so you've been in Belleville or Quinte for
24 years.
What has been your favorite memory of the area?
Wow.
I know, big question.
No, there's a lot of them. Got to sing Boy from the Woods Christmas song on stage with Bruce Guthrow at the Empire Theater. Thank you, Mark Rashad.
That's very cool. That's really cool.
So it was good. I met him in the intermission and he dragged me up. Well, he didn't drag me up. I was so running.
You're like, here I go.
So stoked.
Christmas song. Yeah, we're going up there. I got to meet Steve Winwood. So Mark Rashad and Andy Forgie of, me talking about not wanting to meet my idols. Certainly got a chance to do that here. Chaired the United Way campaign for 2 years. Met so many great people.
They're just great people there, though.
Figure out. But I mean, everybody in town, you go on the Asked speech tour, right? So you go out to Procter & Gamble and you meet people like Danny Nicol and the campaigners out there and the staff, and you get a chance to talk to them. And You see the connection made like, oh, okay, if I make a donation, the money's going to go here. Then you watch the money go in, then you're on the allocation committee and you see the programs work. And it's so rewarding. So you get to see how, quote unquote, the city works above and beyond that. So that was great. Being Dancing with the Stars, being up on the roof, walking around in her shoes was great.
Oh, yeah, you killed
I don't know
that.
if they'll still do that. I mean, I hope they do.
I think.
Raise money for Three Oaks Foundation. That's a really vital one, too. That was great.
You
I think
also
so.
did one, I remember this, and I don't know why, where you ate a bunch of food and gained weight, and then people put money in a bin and they had to match your weight in money. Do you remember that one?
I didn't, true. I didn't actually eat food, but it was, I wanted my weight in loonies and toonies.
Yeah.
And it was called Philbin for Philbin.
Yeah.
Out at the Kindness Court at the Quinte Mall.
Yeah.
That's so cute.
Yeah. And so people would be eating and I'd just start berating them with a microphone. That was actually a lot of fun.
I just remember there was a video, I think, and it was just you eating like McDonald's.
Yeah. So we set that up with Paul Ferguson, our vice president, years ago. So because it started when I drove past, I think it was Eastminster Church at Herkimer and Bridge, and they had their digital sign said, all you can eat breakfast. So we went up and filled it, and I was like, look at this. So that I was going to put on all this weight to raise all this money. And I don't think we got there. I think we raised a lot of money, but I don't think we got to 200 pounds worth of loonies and toonies or whatever it was.
I wonder how many.
It's an impressive amount. But, I got to hang out on stage for 6 hours with a microphone and get people to shame them into donating their change to me. And I'll do anything I'll do it for a laugh. I'll do it I'll sleep on a roof for charity. I don't care.
I know. I just remember these ones. I was like, back in the day.
I love that.
So much younger, so young. So young back then.
I don't think I lived here
Well,
yet.
again, you're another one who's known me for a very long time.
Yeah.
Since I was just a little baby.
You came over to my house for supper. I let you take charge, and your mother said to me, don't do that.
No.
I said, well, why don't we have Katie take charge? I don't know. What were you, 4, 5?
No, 7.
Really?
Yeah, I think.
Size of a 4-year-old.
I was very
And
tiny.
your mother was like, that's not a good idea. We won't have her in charge. And of course, Cam was like, whatever. He didn't care.
Yeah,
So easy going. Your dad, so easy going.
Yeah, and then my mom and I.
Yeah, taking charge.
Always.
That's the last time we're inviting them over. I said, I'm pretty sure it's the last time they want to come over. I think it was, but no, it was a good time.
Rapid fire?
Rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
We do rapid fire?
Yes.
Yeah, we ask you
Got it.
quick questions.
No editing.
I heard
No editing.
I heard no knitting, and I'm like,
no
We
editing.
love
Here we
knitting,
go.
so don't tell us not to cry.
I was like,
hear what you
back
want to hear.
off.
Here we go. True
Rude.
answers. No editing answers out. Here we go.
What's your favorite restaurant in Quinte?
Linguini's and Tomaso's is a tie.
That's fair.
2.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah, both for different reasons.
Okay.
Okay, give me the reasons.
Quick casual getaway, Tomaso's, marking a special occasion, Linguini's.
Oh.
That's very good.
Interesting.
Yep.
Favorite dog you've ever met?
Favorite dog I've ever met? In town, up east, Abby. Abby is a golden retriever, and I hope Abby's still with us. We met Abby at Bon Echo Provincial Park.
Yeah.
We found out there because, of course, I went up and met the dog, and we found out they were from Belleville. So then I introduced myself in Belleville, and they were like, "Duh, okay, we know who you are." And Abby fell right on my wife's feet. Well, golden retrievers are just ridiculously loving, and we would see them every May long weekend there. I never see them in town. Never see them in town. And then I did at one of the walk a mile in their shoes.
Yeah.
I brought Abby down there, and I met Cheryl, her name just popped in, Cheryl, the owner, and Abby. Just love Abby. Abby was, I had a dog growing up, which was still my favorite. But of all the other dogs,
Little sad
Abby,
it's not Creed, but
Abby,
we'll accept it.
That's
Creed
fine.
is my favorite current dog.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'll tell
oh my
him.
God, I love Creed.
What's your favorite potato chip?
Barbecued.
Barbecue?
Smoky bacon's a bit of a passion.
Is there
now.
like a certain brand that's like
Yeah,
better
it's
than the
got to
other?
be the old fashioned. I'm not fans of the new
Wow.
barbecue, old fashioned barbecue that Lay's puts together the way it was growing up. Much like old Dutch barbecue. That's
Yeah,
the
I
best.
thought you were talking about Old Dutch. Okay.
Yes, that's the best.
Nice.
That's really good.
Oh, yeah, they have, was it Chip Friday?
We have Chip Fridays in the morning show. It's really
Do you
gross.
still do it?
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
As long as the sun rises on Friday, there'll be chips. And Charity's right in there like a dirty sock, so it's good. It's not like I have to twist her arm or anything. Like I went out this morning, I got Smile cookies. So I bought 5.
Yeah.
I bought 1 for everybody on the morning show, Charity and myself and Jason and News, and then Al and Jen on Cool 100. And at 8 o'clock, Charity went outside and she said, are there any more? I said, no, I bought 5. And then she started doing the men in her head, like you thought I brought you a second one? Like we all got one. Like, what? That's it? You only bought 5? Well, I didn't see you at Tim Hortons.
But I mean,
She's in for treats.
I like treats.
Yeah.
Like
so we're all good for that.
Best book you've ever read?
To Kill a Mockingbird. Hands
Wow,
down.
that's such a good
quick.
one.
Hands down. Yeah.
My dad was going to name me Scout.
Yeah,
Really?
I think
really.
very fitting for a
great.
lesbian.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, Scout was on my list for Lincoln.
Oh, but he's boy.
I know, but I still like it.
But 1B is Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett, which is a phenomenal 1,200-page book. Ken Follett.
1,200 page book.
Yeah, phenomenal.
That's like right up
of
my
the Earth.
A
alley.
lot of pages.
And
I
it's,
love that.
What's it about?
It was turned into a TV miniseries, and
I'll
that's the
watch
first
that.
time anybody ever heard of the actor named Eddie Redmayne was in that. And I thought he played Jack, and he was great. And I will read that book every 6 or 7 years. I'll pull it out again because it's so fabulous. And I've read To Kill a Mockingbird 5 times. And I
Never
still
read
get
it.
things in it that I go, My daughter bought me the 50th anniversary in 2010 of the DVD with Gregory Peck, which is why Gregory Peck's my favorite actor of all time. And it's funny because the ATP, the American of Movie, AMT, anyway, put together their 100 best heroes and villains of movies, and it was really great. And we got down to the number 1 and 2, and number 2 was Darth Vader, was the number 1 best villain. And number 1 was Atticus Finch.
Love it.
Was Gregory Peck is the number 1 hero. And then you look
Yeah.
what's going on now in the United States and you wonder, where have you gone?
Yeah.
Where
Maybe
have you
everyone
gone
needs
wrong?
to read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah. And I'm
They took
not
it-
talking
isn't it one
about
of the banned
race.
books?
I'm not
No,
talking,
it isn't.
Yeah, it is. It's
Yeah,
banned.
it's banned in the
Shut
States.
up.
But just the fact that somebody would stand up for somebody else. Let's put race aside. The fact that somebody would stand up and stand up for somebody else instead of always getting their nose in their face and like, whatever happened to us when we can't do that anymore? Yeah, I just think that's such a great book. 12 from a child's perspective.
I didn't know that was on. That gave me chills.
Movie
It is
makes me
cold in
cry
here,
at the
but-
end. Yeah, I love it. The door closes and Scout says, "Hey, boo." I lose it every single time.
I feel like I need to watch it
boo.
again.
Oh, my
Yeah.
book made me cry
Scary
last
man
night.
next door. The kids are afraid of. It turns out to be their hero. I mean, if that isn't what adulthood is to children,
For sure.
you know,
Oh, yeah.
because right now we convince everybody that the nice guy next door is really the villain.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that book told you that the scary guy next door is really the hero. It was a remarkable book. Remarkable.
Everyone
Only
go
one she ever
read.
wrote.
Yeah, I read it. I'm going to put it on my winter reading list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I have a list. It's the first book on the list. So
I'll give you my copy.
perfect. Thank you.
Dog-eared, well read. Yeah.
Okay. Your question.
Favorite movie?
Oh,
Favorite movie? Boy, that's a hard one. There's a movie called Lady Hawk
Mm-hmm.
with Matthew Broderick and Rutger Hauer
Mm-hmm.
and Michelle Pfeiffer that I always thought was the best love story ever. It's phenomenal. Really, really good. I really like that one. I am a Raiders of the Lost Ark fanatic. I thought those were just
Yeah. Those are
great
great.
movies, and I'm probably missing one. My favorite movie amongst current is Jojo Rabbit. I thought that was just
I don't think I've
I
seen
haven't
it.
seen
a
it.
remarkable, wow, what a gut punch movie.
Gonna watch
So
it.
good. Jojo Rabbit, really good. I like Marvel movies. I like big spectacular movies. I like going to movies. I
Yeah.
love movies, which is one reason why I want to write a book and
make
put
it a
together
movie.
a
Make a
Netflix series, and because everybody gets those, right? I've
Yeah,
seen
I
horrible
think
ones.
so.
It's like, how did that
Yeah.
one get made?
Oh,
I know. It's
I
like,
love
And the
that.
answer my wife always says is, then do better. And she's right.
she's not wrong.
so you're doing it.
So
You're
do
doing better.
Like, because you can do this stuff, so then do it. Well,
I
I'm
like
going
her.
to bed now. It's like, I've come up with all kinds of excuses. And then I read a book, it wasn't a Tony Robbins, but it was a kick in the ass kind of book that said, if you want to do stuff, you're the only one stopping you from doing it.
Very true.
So I sat down and I started writing the book. And it started as a treatment, which is supposed to be 3 pages of what the book is going to be about.
and you just kept going.
And I just kept going. And then the treatment
Beautiful.
became 8 pages. And then I had dialogue in my head I wanted to write down before I forget it. And then there was a character that I wanted to create that I sort of thought of. And before I know it, now I'm up to 107 pages on Word, which is 48,000 words. And now I'm going back to part of the treatment and spacing it out, putting dialogue in. And so I'm doing it wrong. Like, I know.
I don't think there's a
if
right
any
way to do it.
It's like, well, you're doing it wrong. I get it. Which is probably why it's taking me so long. No, I should probably start over.
Oh, no, that sounds
and then
like
just look at the treatment and write. But I'm sort of writing in between all of that and adding things and taking stuff out and self-editing. And
get a good editor and they'll put it all
There's
together for
a
you.
young lady who lives in Toronto that we interviewed for our podcast. I think she won an award for screenwriting. She went to Nicholson here.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I remember
her?
I remember this. Yeah.
And I said to her, I'm about to start writing a screenplay because she does screenplay. Can I send it to you? And she said, absolutely. So she's the one I'm going to send it to.
That's a good idea.
She's going to say back, this is trash. This is awful.
It's going to be like Michael Scott from The Office, the movie he wrote. Oh, great movie.
But what I look at is I look at Squid Game and go, who thought that was great? And then it became phenomenal. Like, we think it's great now, but somewhere along the line, somebody had to say, you're going to do what?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Or any
I still
other,
haven't watched that movie because it scares me.
It's a show. It is
cultural. Like where did that one come from?
Yeah.
Or some of the thing like Bird Box, like
that one was weird too.
You have to be. So this whole idea can be different, and that's the way I thought. I really want this one in 8 episodes, so that there's the shock after episode 3. Because why? Everybody stops watching Netflix after episode 3. You can't. So if you're going to drop a series, you give it 3 episodes. I know that. Mm-hmm. From doing research. I know that. So I'm going to make sure that when I get to episode 3, the cliffhanger means you got to stick it out now. So that's when that one reveal comes. I've got it all kind of put together.
I'm calling you a treasure
awful.
chest.
Maybe it's awful. I don't know.
I'm still going to read it and watch the 8-part doc.
Because I read top screenwriters for Netflix play, they get $1 million. That's pretty cool. I'll do it for 100,000 American. Because I got that one for Hallmark at Christmas in the back pocket. I got that one.
That's going to be the moneymaker.
That's it.
Called Love is on the Air.
I'm excited for
written about Chris Wiggins.
What's the name of the town it's set in? Come on.
Is this just Chris Wiggins' life? You're right.
Pretty well. He inspired us.
He
literally
lives in a Hallmark. They were filming a Hallmark movie down the road from where he lives now.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because it's just that cute.
And the Hallmark, by the way, you'll know it got ripped off if I didn't write it, and it takes place in Evergreen Station, Colorado.
Okay.
Okay.
Everyone
It has to be Colorado, like a ski town.
It has to be
Vermont or Colorado.
Yeah.
I've got it in Colorado. I wanted
Not Badawa Ski Hill.
Not the Badawa. They can film there.
It should film there
in the lofts.
Zoom out on the bump. Like a little. Okay, last question. You ready?
Yep.
Best advice you can give someone.
Best advice: never give up. Never ever give up. Never ever 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 give up.
I truthfully needed to hear that today. So.
If you and because everybody will tell you you're wrong, everybody will tell you it can't be done, and they can mean it with the best of intentions. Sometimes they may say don't do it that way, but if people say don't do it, you're wrong. I mean, put your hand on a hot stove, of course, but it's like I got an idea where I just want to try something, and you're wrong. I mean, not to delve off again that great podcast I talked about, the Obscure Virus Club. It started with a guy back in 1915. Malcolm Gladwell was going to listen to this and go, this is an awful recitation of my podcast. But they brought in like a chicken that had a tumor. This is like 1915. And the scientist looked at it and then did some work on it, whatever, and then injected it back into other chickens, and the chickens got cancer. And they said, well, wait a minute. Cancer isn't like you can't catch it like a virus. This is ridiculous. And it went on and it went on and went on. And he tried to, and he got other scientists that got interested until they discovered a recessive gene. And everybody in the medical community said, you're wrong and we're not going to publish you. And they wouldn't let it go. And they wouldn't let it go. In 1980, they finally said, the next scientist that kept looking at it, that stop doing this. You're wasting our time. You're wasting your time. You're wasting valuable research time and money because it doesn't matter. And what they actually discovered was the beginning of AIDS. Jesus. And had they given up, we never would have had the drugs by the 90s. They would have been flat-footed. They discovered that recessive genes work backwards, and that's exactly how AIDS works. It can be transmitted sexually from mother to child, through blood transfusions. They said, no, that's impossible. Nothing works like that. And they said, I'm telling you, it does. If they gave up because these Nobel Prize winning laureates in medicine said it can't be done, and they said, we're not going to give up because we think there's something in there. Imagine that. So I look at that and say, yeah, never give up. If you think you've got an idea, just keep going. Just keep going. Shine your light, be who you are, and don't give up.
Why are you trying to make me cry today?
Yeah, I wish I could tell you how many radio program directors along the way told me that I'd never make a career out of this. We had one, they sent an air check of one of my shows in Stratford to a vice president who worked for Chum. He went on to become, he still worked for our company at the time, and he sent it back as saying, is this a joke? Tell me you didn't hire this guy. Okay, that's who I am. Like, okay. But he doesn't sound like everybody else. Which is kind of the point. But okay, I get what he means. Mm-hmm. I get what he means. There's the American Idol version of singers, and then there's Neil Young.
Yeah.
And then there's, Mark Knopfler, where if you put these guys up against Adam Lambert, he doesn't sound like a pop star. Yeah. I get it. We're not all Harry Styles. But there are some other pretty good singers out there that, so that's all I wanted. Yeah. So anyway, because I don't have the hello, welcome back to the program. No. But you just say, no, I want to do it because I got stories to tell and I got people I want people to meet, and there are good people out there who deserve a voice. So I want to be there for them. So that's how I built my career, I guess.
Well, that was like exactly what I needed to hear today.
Yep. I feel 100%.
Ain't nobody needs to hear any of that, you two, but there it is, whether you like it or not.
Do you have anything you want to shout out? Like anything coming up or things?
Not really. Okay. I don't know. Not really.
We'll say follow. You can listen to Mark in the mornings on 95.5. From what time to what time approximately?
6 till 9.
6 till 9.
But if you want to text him in the booth by 4:30, seeing what's up, looking around.
Then you can listen to the Mark and Charity Coffee podcast each day.
Every weekday, not the weekends. And it's on all the major podcast platforms as well as ours.
Yeah. And you can follow 95.5 Hits FM on Facebook and Instagram. And Twitter. Forgot.
And Twitter. We have our own Twitter, Mark
TikTok.
and Charity Mornings Twitter.
Oh, yes, you do.
A lot of dog videos.
It's great.
A lot of dog videos.
Yes.
It's really good.
I live for them.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. I didn't think Babes of Quinte had any guys on there, so I learned something today.
You're a babe. Well,
thank you. I'd like to think so with my...
Welcome to the Babe Club.
With your golf shirt.
My golf shirts and my painter's pants.
Yeah, I was going to say your painter's pants.
Painter's pants. Okay, I'm sure if my wife looked around, she could find a picture. That's my greatest fear.
We need that.
This is my goal.
We need the painter pants picture.
I would love that, please.
Kathy.
Thank you.
Kathy.
Yeah.
That was amazing. I decided because I'm embroidering another Babes of Quinte patch for us to do a giveaway on Instagram.
Beautiful.
But I'm going to make another one that says, that's amazing.
That's a good idea.
Because I think that's kind of our tagline.
I think so too. I think it's fun.
It just happened. So, but that was great. Mark is very wise.
Yeah. And I knew this, but I didn't realize how wise he was.
Yeah. And I think it's because of COVID. We've been in bubbles for so long. And I think with the morning show people, they're in the office, but they're not in the office because they come in 5 to 10 and then they don't always come down to where we are. So
yeah, it's I rarely see them sometimes.
I rarely see them.
I only see Al because he
comes to get
my candy.
If I bring Creed in, the dog, I have to come see Mark because they're best friends.
Well, I started reading the book that he recommended to me.
Yeah, how is it?
It's fantastic. Okay. It's so good.
It's very long.
It's very long. I'm about, I think I'd say a third of the way through it.
That's very impressive.
I am powering through it.
What's it
about? It's complicated.
Okay.
So it starts out, it's just a mason and he's traveling to find work.
Okay.
But he's meeting really odd people.
Yeah.
So he's met, I don't want to because I don't know what happens. So it's I don't know what parts are important, which ones aren't.
Yeah. So we're going to wait till the end for a full recap.
Waiting to the end for a full review. But so far I'm addicted to it. I love it.
I need a new book. I don't know if it's going to be that one. I haven't read a book in a really long time.
You should read the Lady Gang podcast. They have a book of secrets. So they had all their listeners.
I can't keep a secret, but
secrets. No, I know you can't keep a secret.
I have like a couple, I think, but not many.
Yeah, the Lady Gang. Yeah, so it's just like a book of secrets.
I like that.
And it's really cool. And it's all anonymous.
Yeah.
So I'm just kind of like, that's really cool.
Sneaky. Yeah. In the beginning of this podcast, I talked about that I'm watching a lot of shows.
Yeah.
And the podcast I normally listen to is like, I shouldn't just give you recaps of all my shows, but I do want to shout out 2 shows that made me feel really good when I had the saddies. One is called Heartstopper. Is a British show and it's an all boys school, and there's a gay boy who's out, and then this other boy's finding out he's bisexual, and it's just like, it's feel good.
I love that.
There's some bullying, but I was just like, this is very wholesome content. And then another one is called Big Boys. It's also a British show, and I don't even know, it's also got some gay undertones, but also touches on like depression, but like functional depression, which I really like. I was like, it hit the nail on the head, which was like nice as someone who has functioning depression and anxiety, because it's not usually it's like they picture depression as this one thing, and then getting to see it as like, oh, you're still functioning and struggling but trying to be happy.
It's exhausting.
It's so tiring. People are like, why are you always tired? I'm like, because I'm depressed and anxious.
And I deal with that, but I still come to work and I do my things. And I take care of all the things, but it's exhausting.
And this job has been the best thing for my mental health.
That's good.
Not to be biased. I'm a little biased, I guess, about this business, but
like realistically,
it does support your mental health. And I think we have a good group of people.
For sure.
Like having like you and Emily in my mental health corner is like very nice.
But like since you've started, I feel like I'm just better mentally.
I'm giving her eyebrows right now. Yeah, because we can both be mentally.
Well, I just feel like I can talk to you, and you're gonna. If I'm like, oh, I'm just feeling like super anxious today. Like,
I get it.
Can we do something later? And you'd be like, yeah, no, that's fine.
Anxiety first. I remember this, like a side tangent, when my anxiety was really bad and I dropped out of school. My mom was leaving to go on a trip, so she was trying to like prepare my dad for me being anxious, because he never really like knew how to be like the first responder in the anxiety situation. Yeah. And so I was lying on the floor crying, and he tried to lie down next to me and like tap my hand. I was like, no. I was like, go away.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So he did try. He's a lot better now, but
that's very sweet though.
Just a little tidbit about the man who shall not be named. Do we have anything coming up that we need to?
We got invited to the Mr. Puffs opening.
We did.
I don't know how or why. I got this invite in my Instagram DMs.
Your personal?
Yeah.
I love that.
And they just like slid into my DMs, and I'm just kind of like, okay, I'm here for this. So we'll probably give a Mr. Puffs review after we eat all of the Mr. Puffs.
Yeah, we'll do like a video.
I don't really know.
I don't know.
I don't know what to expect, but I'm excited.
They look good. I went up that way, and there's a fair amount of people there. The grand opening's on Saturday. Oh, and I'm going to be at because I still make soap, and I'm going to be at the fundraising gala for the Quinte Conservation Area at Vanderwater.
That looks so cool.
Yeah, and it seems like a really cool event. You have to buy tickets, but once you're in, there's like food, there's a market, there's a show, like a Tweed Theater's putting on a show in the forest. And then there's an Indigenous sharing circle, and all the money is being put into environmental youth programming, which I think is pretty cool.
That.
So I'll be there with soap and some skincare that I make.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Well,
I know.
Let me know how that goes.
I will. And anything besides Mr. Puffs?
No, I'm not that exciting.
Yeah, we try.
But Mr. Puffs, that's all I got.
We'll be back next week.
Woohoo.
Yeah. Okay, bye.